Hello, everybody. Happy Friday. This is our live stream. I'm so excited if you're joining me. If you're brand new, hello. My name is Carey. I am a medium and a mentor and also an Akashic Records reader. And every Friday at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, I go live and do readings, connecting with this community, answering questions about spiritual growth, healing, and development, intuitive and psychic development. And I'm so excited you're here. So we're actually going to be going live on both YouTube and then also on TikTok. So you can join me from either platform. Hello. Good to see you, Mia. How are you? Am I saying your name correctly too? Is it Mia? I love that name, but I see the H and I want to make sure I have it right. So glad you're joining me. I'm excited. We're just kind of getting the ball rolling, getting started. Welcome in, everybody. If you are new, please feel Amaya. That's a beautiful name. Perfect. Thank you for explaining that. So we're just settle in. We're going to get started in just a second. This is my weekly Friday live stream. So every Friday I go live at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and we do readings, which is really meant to be a gift for the collective. That's the intention of these Friday night readings. And as you can see from the menu, we do a couple of different types of channeled messages. The first thing is every Friday we do a channeled message from one of the goddesses. Now, what does that mean, one of the goddesses? Hey, Regina. One of the goddesses. Well, really, I tend to work with a collective of goddesses that I work with for healing, for guidance, for many, in a lot of ways. I work with them in my community, channeling message from them, and also have a deeper relationship with many of the goddesses as well. And so typically every Friday night, what we do is we channel a message from one of them, and it's really meant to be for the collective. If you're just joining me on TikTok, welcome. And I want to let you know, my name is Carey. It's so good to see you. We are going to be doing some channeled messages. And there's the list right here of everyone that we are working with tonight. You know what? If you're talking about Kemetic, you know what? I do work with Isis or Osset, I think that's what the abbreviation is. So absolutely. So welcome in, everybody. I hope everybody's well. I'm seeing lots. We are also on the Tube of You. So if you want, you can come and watch us on the Tube of You. I'm on both places. Lots of people joining us here, which is very exciting. So exciting. So essentially what we're going to be doing is I'm going to be tapping in to the collective of goddesses that I typically work with. And also sometimes we get new goddesses, and sometimes we even get a new god that comes forth, usually from one of the pantheons that I'm already working with. That can be Celtic, that can be Norse, that can be Hellenic, usually, right? Sometimes the infernal divine come forward. So it just depends. So if you're just joining me, welcome. And if you guys on TikTok, if you guys want to just tap the screen, share the live, these are going to be channeled messages for the collective. And most people really enjoy that. So feel free and let me know, where is everybody coming from tonight? Oh, I'm so excited, Linda. Yay. I know, I'm so excited. I'm excited to work with you too. Thank you for being here. And let me know where you guys are coming from tonight. It's good to see everybody. And also if you're new, feel free to say hello so I can say hello back. And if you are from TikTok, welcome. If you're here, so New York, Montana, fantastic. I'm so excited. It's good to meet you. Yes, I live in the Northwest, so it's good to see everybody. We're going to get started in just a couple of minutes. We're just saying hello. And if you guys are new to my page, welcome. So my name is Carey Koss. I'm a medium and a mentor. So I do a lot of things. I do readings, of course. That's a big part of what I do. But I also train. Thank you so much for the follow. I also train people to develop their abilities. I train people to use their psychic abilities for energy healing, energy reading. Thank you, Jen. And then I also help people learn to work in their Akashic Records, right? Past life readings and energy healing. And then also I teach mediumship. Hello, Pennsylvania. Good to see you guys. Welcome in. I'm so glad you guys are here. These are going to be collective readings. So excited you're here. So if you guys on TikTok, keep tapping the screen. Everybody, if you guys are from YouTube, if you guys can also send a few hearts And if you have friends that you think would enjoy this content, wonderful. So what I'm going to do is first thing hello, Delaware. Good to see you. Tonight, every Friday night, I come live and I do, these are really messages for the collective. So I do a channeled message from one of the goddesses that I work with. Typically or sometimes we get new ones. So that's true. But in the pantheons that I work with, then we do an Akashic Records reading. And that is more of a channeled message, usually for our spiritual growth and development for the collective, if this resonates. But then I go through all the zodiacs and I do an energy forecast for each zodiac, which is really exciting. And so stay tuned for that. If you are not able to stay, this will be recorded and uploaded to the tube of you, and it'll be time-stamped. So that's kind of fun. So you can definitely do that. So welcome in, everybody. I'm so glad you're here. And if you're new, please feel free to say hello. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to just connect in and see which goddess is coming forward. So if you can just keep tapping the screen. Hello, Ohio. Hi, Callie. I didn't know you were from Ohio. Okay. All right. So I'm just going to open up my energy. I'm going to see which goddess is coming forth. And if you're wondering, what are we doing here tonight? Thank you so much for the daily heart me. I appreciate that. That means a lot to me. Thank you for being here. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Okay. So we're going to start with our goddess message. Again, come on in if you guys are waiting on the FYP. We're going to be doing collective messages today. And that means we're going to be working with several different groups. We're going to be getting a channeled message from one of the goddesses that I work with. Then we're going to be tapping into the collective for an Akashic Records message. We're also going to be doing a message. Hello, California. Where are you from in California? So an ancestor message, and then we're going to be doing a zodiac reading for every single sign. So that's going to be an energy reading for every sign. So be sure to stay tuned. If you're interested also later, if you're not able to stay, you can come back and watch it on for me. Hello. Oh, Sacramento. Amazing. Yes, my husband went to college there. Amazing. So let's see. Oh my gosh, Amber, it's so good to see you, friend. How are you? So we're going to get started first. I'm going to be just channeling. This is more what I like to say is conscious channeling, which means I'm going to be just communicating mainly telepathically. I like to explain that with one of the goddesses. We'll be bringing forth a message from her to see what her message is for us. So I'm going to just close my eyes and hang out so you guys can. Oh, I'm doing very well. I'm doing really well. Things are good. So welcome in, everybody. I'm going to be right with you. We're going to start with this goddess message, that channel collective message. We're starting with the goddesses. So we're seeing who's coming forth. Okay. I have a feeling that there's a few coming forward. So let's see. Your forehead is tingling. Yep. Your sixth shot, your third eye is going. I love that, Erica. Okay. Well, you might get this message too. And if you get these messages, feel free to share them in the chat. If you guys could also let me know where you're coming from and maybe just make sure you grab your daily heart me. Okay, let me get started with this. I'll be right there. I've been getting a lot of the Irish goddesses coming forth. This happened last week too. Actually, the week before last, since last week was Christmas, Thanksgiving. And some of these goddesses I feel like are part of the Irish pantheon. Celtic pantheon, but they're probably ones that aren't as popular. So, and I think that's pretty special. And there's reasons for that. This specific goddess literally is calling herself Fiona. So I'm going to stick with that. We had that happen last time where a goddess came forth named Rowan. Which means tree, and so I'll see what Fiona has to say. This is very interesting. I'll have to look this up later. Okay. So one of the messages that she's giving me has a lot to do with all of you who are working on fear right now. So something specific, this goddess Fiona is telling me about fear and about releasing fear. And it's interesting, somebody said that their sixth chakra was starting to tingle, because I feel like some of the fears that many of you are feeling are actually based on things that get triggered in your imagination. So how many of you in the chat are often triggered by images that you receive, and that as though your imagination seems to be on overdrive. So you maybe get a yes for Erica. So that means that ideally, you know, I mean, what's happening is that you're getting your brain or your nervous system is in overdrive. And so you're starting to see things, anxiety. Yep. And you're starting to see things visually, maybe worst case scenarios. That's what she's mentioning. Okay. You get them when you're half asleep. Yes. So this goddess Fiona, and I'll be interested, I will look her up in my spirits book because I tend to like to look those things up, and I'll look that up when we're done. And she's telling me that one thing you want to do, they're very practical, these goddesses, I tell you. What she's saying specifically is to imagine before you go to bed or during the day, if you feel this energy coming up that it's fear-based, you want to imagine in front of you, you can do one of two things, that there is a rose in front of you. It's a big red rose and it's grounded. And any fear that tends to come up around your mind or the busyness of your mind, but also if you're getting any images, you just want to ask that spirit takes that energy away, and you can just literally imagine it being siphoned out of your third eye and of your mind. She's saying because your fear is getting the best of you, and it's trying to lead you into the future. So someone here said anxiety. Yep. Your grandma's name is Rose. Oh my goodness. That definitely is a confirmation for you. So I want you to do that. She's just saying, what I love about these goddesses, a lot of the Irish goddesses are this way too. They're very utilitarian, very practical. So, and that's the great thing about starting to work with goddess energy, is that they can give you this guidance, this insight, this wisdom on a regular basis of things that can really help you become more grounded, become clearer, increase your psychic abilities, and to work on energy healing. So I want to say, I really feel that with her. It's interesting that the rose came up because I am smelling roses as well. So one of her key identifiers does make me think she smells like flowers. That's one of her signals. Another color associated with her is the color red and the color pink. It's kind of like a rosy color, right? Both your nonas were named Rose. Okay, that's what we've got. So that's interesting. How do you know confidently channel lesser gods than goddesses? Well, that's a great question. I have been, well, this is a really good question. So someone asked this question. I like to be able to put the comment on the board because I like to share these and educate. Here's the thing. I think because I have 35 years of identifying spirits, and I've been a developed medium for 35 years. And I also really trust energy. And when it comes to integrity. And here's the thing, when you go into, when you've developed your psychic abilities and also your mediumship for a really long time, like I have, you're often talking to spirits that aren't necessarily big spirits. Often they can be nature spirits. They can be spirits of the land. They can be ancestors, right? They're in anything. And so for me, I always go confidently. I can identify really pretty quickly the source of the spirit, and then the energy of the spirit, and then also what they're offering. So not all spirits have the big names. The other thing I want to tell you, I'll show you this book I have too. So hold on one second. So being a medium, I come into contact with spirits probably 5 days a week. So I deal with both. I deal with nature spirits. I deal with, of course, loved ones in the spirit world. I deal with archangels, ancestors, deities, goddesses. So I have a very a deep acumen. And so I always trust energy. So then later, and I have found last time, that's such a good question though. So let's see if Fiona comes up in a name. Sometimes the spirits that we're working with are also spirits that work with the bigger spirits, just to let you know. So that does happen sometimes. So let's see if Fiona comes up in this particular grouping. So probably I'll have to go look later. It's interesting. I just have a feeling she's probably going to come up, and she could also have another name. So even here, this has, I want to say, how many spirits in this? There's probably, I would say 10,000 in this book. So, that's interesting that you mentioned that. I've never met her. I couldn't say that. I didn't get that name, but I see her in my book. I see her in my book. Someone is very interested in this. I love that you're interested in this. I will look up Fiona Dach after this and give you a little more context, but that's interesting. And I'm going to do some divination later. So come back next week and I'll have more information for you. So I've been working with goddesses specifically this is year 4. I have a membership called Goddess Rising. And so I'm also a priestess. I'm a Magdalene Rose priestess. So working with the sacred feminine is very much part of my vernacular and what I'm used to. And I have Celtic origins, so it doesn't surprise me that I'm kind of connecting with them. You know what I mean? And they come to me often. So, and I'm also right now in my Goddess Rising membership for the winter months in December. We're actually working with the Scottish goddess Cailleach. So it's kind of in my radar, in my bones, but I meet them. I wouldn't say meet new ones all the time, but I tend to meet many. So let's talk about it. And the other thing I want to talk about her energy specifically, she really feels very much to me like she is not as much of a bigger energy. She is more of a smaller energy, is likely very either not necessarily just regional. Who knows? She might even be connected to my ancestors, and she feels like very much like a utilitarian goddess who could really help you in a lot of ways with like practical matters. Does that make sense? But I'll get back to you on that. That's a really good point. So Friday nights tend to be a night of education. So I can always tell on TikTok because usually TikTok, bless them, most people don't necessarily want to have, not you guys, but a lot of people have like only about 60 seconds worth of patience to be able to listen to these longer conversations, which is like, but the people who are here, who want to learn more tend to stick around longer. So this is not like, I would say this Friday nights are not a fast moving night for me, but I love them. And I think that my community cherishes them. So I hope you guys do too. And if you guys are interested, I'm also on the Tube of You as well. Okay, so we're going to move forward and we're going to move into the Akashic Records now. And we're going to be getting a message from the Akashic Records. So I'm going to tune in and open up my energy for the Akashic Records and in general see what the message is for tonight. So we're doing Akashic Records right now. This is just one of those things I absolutely love. So we have Fiona coming forth. I want to make sure that I come in and later I might do some divination with her and we'll go forth. But it's interesting that what you said about the Fiona Nach. I'll definitely see if I can do divination in that gem, but that's the name I got at first. That's interesting because that spelling is almost exactly, and I'm going to go in there and like look it up a little bit further. I really love that. So Courtney Weber. Okay, so let me just tap into the Akashic Records and see what we're getting. What's the message? So just a second. Okay, so again, this is a collective message. So if it resonates, feel free to bring it into your space for consideration. If not, you can just release it. I'm just going to be closing my eyes throughout this for the message. So the message that's really coming through from the Akashic Records is that this is a time of preparation for many people. And what I mean by that is on a spiritual level, many of you are it's almost like I see you with your spirit guides and your loved ones getting you ready. Like, let's say you were planning on going to college, or you were going off to become like do a very long road trip, or you were going to be moving. You know how all your loved ones would come over and they would help you prepare for that event. They would bring their, all their wisdom and their guidance and their information, and they would give you all their best tips, and they would give you advice on best practices and roads to take and what to put in your suitcase and things like that. The Wi-Fi seems to be fine here. You might just want to come out and come back. I'm not sure. My Wi-Fi is pretty good right now here. Sometimes you have to go out and come back. That might be it. Okay. I know. We'll just have to keep going forward. They're having a little bit of freezing over on TikTok. So hopefully that gets better, guys. We'll just have to keep pushing through. So anyway, the message really here has a lot to do with the road you're about to travel and the journey. Okay. Well, I'll go out and come back. So I'll be right back. Hang on just a second. Hang on just a sec. They're getting frozen over there. I'm going to check my Wi-Fi just a second. Well, it looks good on my end. Let's see what happens. All right, guys, let me know if it's still being glitchy. I'm going to just keep pushing through. So let me know. Is everybody on YouTube able to still see pretty well? Let me know how it's going. Is it a little bit better over there? Oh, okay. Oh no. Okay, I'm going to keep pushing through, guys, and we'll see how it goes. Okay. It's okay over there, Linda? Okay, on YouTube. Okay, good. That might have been it. Hopefully, I'm going to cross my fingers that it's okay. All right, so we're just getting a channeled message from the Akashic Records. And if you guys could do me a favor here, make sure you grab your Daily Heart Me. Thank you, April. And then also, if we can get to 10,000, that would be amazing. Okay, let's continue. All right, again, so what I'm getting a sense of is that your spirit guides, your loved ones in spirit, and if you would consider this to be your ancestors, you are getting a lot of support and help to prepare you on your next level of where you are moving to on your path. So if you've been, and I've been picking this up for a while though, if you've been feeling a little bit frustrated, as though you specifically are not making a lot of progress on your path, if you feel as though you're like banging your head up against a wall and things aren't moving fast enough, understand that you're going through a process of really building your reservoir of information, guidance, and wisdom. And I think usually what I'm hearing is we're not used to taking a pause. Yeah. We're not used to taking a pause, right? We're not used to taking a pause. We're used to pushing through. And so what we're learning to do is to take a reset. And we're learning to look at things in a different way. We're learning to pause. We're learning to take information in. We're learning to release things. And so a lot of what you're feeling from a spiritual perspective right now is that you are learning to have a regulated nervous system and to live in more harmony with your intuition, with spirit, and with nature. And this is something that I think is a necessary part if you're on your spiritual path. It's part of being aligned and in harmony, that it's not just us pushing through. And so it depends on where you are in your path. If you lean more towards intuitive or earth-based spiritual practices, you'll be more inclined to this. If you are more on what is known as the ascension path, then you'll often be thinking in terms of wanting to raise your vibration. And the really important thing to remember, it's not so much about that. That's what they're saying. It's more about as you're arriving into your next steps, that you're really grounded and aligned, that you are really connected to your physical reality, that you're also very much opening up your chakras and flowing and having energy. very much at peace and harmony. And then when you're in that place, when you're really feeling that sense of inner guidance, inner knowing, that's really when things start happening more. So Bianca says, what if, okay, let me grab that. Great one. What if it had the opposite effect where the person was spiritual and now they aren't because their guidance was wrong? That's interesting, Bianca. Now, when you say your guidance, where was the guidance being received from? And maybe you can elaborate on that point. That's a really good point. And I'd love to answer that question. If you give me a little more context, I'm happy to answer that the best I can if I'm able to. That's a really good point. And it's always good to ask. Sometimes it can be different factors involved, that's for sure. So that's something to consider and something to think about. And to know that that could just be part of that. Sometimes I honestly feel like there's a level of discernment that we go through and that is needed when we go through the process of learning to trust our spirit guides, learning to trust you can relate to that. Yes, absolutely. And if you guys are just joining, welcome. I'd just like to announce, if you're just joining us, my name is Carey. I'm a psychic medium, a spiritual mentor. Every Friday night at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, I do collective messages for everyone. And there's a variety that I do. I do a channeled message from a goddess. And today we had a lesser known goddess named Fiona, who was Irish. Now, Amaya, or sorry, I want to get your name right because I said that wrong. Let me go back up to the top. Amaya, yes. So she was saying maybe Fiona is actually the Finodach. I'm saying that probably wrong, which is a lengthier name of a goddess's name from Ireland. I'm going to do some divination and see if that could be the case. That's the name that Prisper sent it to me. And it's more about their characteristics is usually what I get from her. And she's very grounded, down to earth. And now we're moving into the Akashic Records. Sorry about that. I'm not sure why my connection's a little bit dodgy on TikTok. We're not sure. They're seemingly fine on YouTube. So you can also join us on YouTube if you like. And if you guys can do me a favor, grab your daily heart me. That helps a lot tremendously. So yeah, so that the main thing I'm feeling here when it comes to these messages from the ancestors has a lot to do with everybody going through the preparation process right now. And that even though things may not be moving very quickly, there is a lot to do with you coming into resonance with who you are, your truth, and really getting in touch with your intuition. Now, many of you, I'm feeling a lot of pressure around my crown chakra, also the sixth chakra, some of us were feeling, and we were talking about clearing out the sixth chakra earlier. And that's what Fiona was talking about, specifically that that thing of when you have images that trigger fear within you, it can be very helpful for you to clear out some of those energies. And how you can do that is by imagining in front of you, there's a beautiful red rose that's grounded. And you can imagine any of those blockages or those energies that are foreign, thank you, are moving right into that rose. I really feel you guys have a lot going on in your crown chakra. If you're feeling a lot going on in your sixth chakra, your crown chakra, can you guys do me a favor and just make a comment in each of the chats? Because I'm usually when I'm reading for the collective, I'm picking up energetically on that, what is going on. And that is what I'm sensing here for sure. And yes, so, and also interesting because there's someone named Fiona in the chat. That's very interesting. Jetta is saying yes, and Victoria is saying yes. And Bianca, feel free to elaborate on that if you want as well. That is definitely something I'm getting. I'm going to look up the Fiona really quick just to see if that's Jetta saying here for sure. Yeah, I'm going to have to look her up. I don't see her even in this book. You've been relearning how to channel. Oh, yes. So you were not necessarily chanting in alignment for you. That it happens to. That's interesting. Has anyone had, how many of you are learning to channel, what you would say, or if you feel like you're opening to channel? If you guys can say that in the conversation, that would be amazing. What we're going to do next, everybody, is we are going to be after this. Oh, so PJ Intuitive says yes. Hi, Sid. You've been having vivid dreams about people around you. Okay, amazing. Okay, good. So one of the reasons I like to do this particular live stream. Hi, Jenny. How are you? It's good to see you. I like doing this particular live stream is because I love doing collective support messages. Which I think are based upon healing, encouragement, and support. And then Linda said, definitely overthinking. Yes, right. So those things might really help you as well, Victoria. Okay, very good. Absolutely feel it, but not sure how to treat it. So one of the things you can do is, there are a couple things. You could try the rose technique. I mean, obviously, sometimes you have to practice and try different things. Try the rose technique I mentioned. My other favorite technique is, if you've ever heard of the violet flame, I like doing the violet flame or a violet tornado. And essentially, how does it work to transmute energy with the violet flame? So first of all, the way the violet flame works, it's just a level above we'll say the dimension we're in with them. And so it's a higher vibration. We can work with it to help clear energy. You can imagine a violet flame above your head, and you're just asking it to come in and down through your chakra channel. It will do all the work. It's had its own consciousness. And so violet flame is a very, whoops, I don't know what that was about. The violet flame is very powerful method of transmuting energy, right? Amber, are you still here? Did you want to attest to that? Because I know you have used the violet flame. And you can also, if you have family or loved ones that you are interested in or want to help, like work on or clear energy. If you don't do Reiki healing, you can actually invite the violet flame sort of into, their space to do healing work, whatnot. That's pretty amazing because it has its own intelligence and will work on that energy. Okay. Okay. So that's the message from the Akashic Records. Has a lot to do with that. Okay. Okay, so wonderful. But so Bianca is saying being nudged to pursue something where an injustice was done. Okay, where it would have benefited those who have been hurt. Okay, I see. So I understand energy changes, but why would the nudges persist if the energy change? That's very interesting. Almost like, Bianca, I almost feel like I have to pull a card on that for you. I have to go more into that. So hang tight. Okay, Amber is saying, I have used some simple violet flame imagery with my son when he is melting down or overstimulated. Amazing. Yeah, so try the violet flame. Thank you, Annabelle. It's incredibly helpful. Incredibly helpful. Okay, and then Bianca, stay tuned. I'll pull you a few cards on that particular situation. I must feel like I have to look at the energy straight for that. I'm happy to do that. Hi, Annabelle. Okay, so what we're going to move into now, everybody, we are going to move into doing the Zodiac readings. Who's excited about Zodiac readings? Okay. So these are really more spiritual readings for each sign of the Zodiac. Okay, friends, that's what we're starting with. I'm going to go ahead and get my board all ready. And you can see that here. I'll let you guys know we always start usually with Pisces. Hi, Ash. Good to see you. Hi, Stacy. Thank you for joining my fan club. I appreciate you. Okay, so if you are new, welcome. And Marlene. So if you are new, welcome. Again, I'll do a little announcement. My name is Carey. Hello. I'm a medium and a mentor, Akashic Records reader, and I do readings here regularly. I also do mentorship and I do a lot of development. I do several things, so stay tuned. And I definitely offer readings, mentorship, but I also have programs where I trained people to develop their abilities. And also I have a membership called Goddess Rising. So stay tuned. Right now, we are moving into doing the Zodiac readings for each and every sign. Okay, I will be announcing the sign as we get started. I'll let you know. And if you want to come over to YouTube, I do have on my YouTube channel, I have a slide so you can see which one we're on, but I'll announce it. Okay. In this, we're going to be pulling I'm just feeling into what my guides want me to do. I'm going to go, I think, with my Oracle decks and then 2 tarot. That's what we're going to do. And we are starting with Pisces. Okay. Pisces, sun, moon, or rising, possibly Venus, or if you just have a strong planet in Pisces, feel free to put that in the chat. If you can identify with Pisces, this is my husband's a Pisces, so I'm going to give him this message. So Pisces, what do we need to know for this week? What do you need to know for your highest good? Sun and moon. I love it. So Pisces, we're going to get started with you. Let's see what you've got here. I will definitely show you the cards. So Pisces, here we go. Pisces. They're telling me to pick 2 cards. Okay. So stay tuned. We are now reading the Zodiac signs, and I'll tell you guys everything I'm getting. We are getting the King of Pentacles. This is for Pisces, and the King of Wands. Lots of energy for Pisces of the King. And so that's super important to note for Pisces. We also have the shapeshifter and the thread. Let me show everybody the cards so we can see. I'll start here. So the guardian of the Pentacles, right? That's the King of Pentacles. The King of Wands here. Beautiful imagery. I've been very drawn. I just uploaded a reading. Your husband's also a Pisces? Oh my gosh. And then, or your has been. Oh, this says, oh, I'm so sorry. Thank you for reminding me. Let me go to, oh my God, how crazy. Okay. Thank you for that. Let me go here. I'm going to go backwards. I appreciate you telling me that. There we go. I appreciate you, Linda. Making sure, it's going crazy. Look at it. I've never seen it do that. Hang on, guys. It's my, give me a second. Okay, calm down. Calm down. Stay in there, slide. Oh, goodness sakes. Hang on, guys. My slides have gone bananas over here. Okay, Pisces, calm down. Stay, Pisces, stay. Okay, sorry. All right, so Pisces also has the thread. That's significant. And then the shapeshifter. Okay, so here's what I'm getting, Pisces. 0 Pisces placements LOL. That's okay. So here's what I'm saying. The thing I'm noticing for Pisces this right now for this week has a lot to do with stepping into your power and your authority, but also I feel like their spirit is very connected in with your growth. And I'm hearing the word graduation. So this means for Pisces, it's likely you're either starting to step into a role, maybe with work or in relationships or in a leadership position. Maybe you haven't necessarily done before, but there's a bit of guidance coming forward from spirit that's saying you have got this. You might have places where you haven't done this before, Pisces, but trust the process and trust what your guides are giving you, Pisces. The reason is, for me, this specifically, when you see the red thread, that has to do with spirit leading us. I use that with my students when we're doing psychic development, trusting the red thread, and then shapeshifter. So Pisces, this really has to do with you stepping into new roles, even things you haven't done before, possibly with leadership and authority, and getting comfortable with putting yourself out there. Okay, Pisces? That's what I got for you. I love that for you. Okay, now we're going to go back to the beginning. Okay, here we go. Thanks, guys, for your patience. I can't believe it was all whacking out on me. All right, let us start. Then we're going to go to Aries. Okay, Aries, here we go. All right, if you are Aries, sun, moon, or rising, or you have a prominent placement, please say so in the comments. If you want to be able to see these, you can come on over to, I'm on YouTube right now, and you can see it a little bit more clearly. If you guys are able to, grab your daily heart me, that helps a lot. Yay, Aries. Okay, my Mars is in Aries. So that's my energy. Okay, so we're getting the Seven of Swords for Aries. And then we're getting the High Priestess. That is very interesting. Okay, Aries, here we go. And then we're going to pull 2 of the Oracle for Aries. Yes, so on YouTube, I have exactly the same name that I have here, which is at Carey Spirit Mentor. Very easy to find. Everything is the same. And then it should be going on there. You should be able to see it. Okay, here we go. We are reading for Aries now, specifically, everybody. Okay, Aries, 7 of Swords. And then look at this beautiful High Priestess. I can't wait to show you guys. I love this collection. These are all beautifully done. The other thing you're getting is the Offering and the Sustainer, which is so beautiful as well. The Sustainer is a beautiful card. That's like the clay being done. So Aries, this is what I'm really feeling. 7 of Swords can often mean that there is some level of, things to watch out for. Maybe possibly there's someone in your environment that could be a little bit shady. But also a lot of the time what you're getting, Aries, with 7 of Swords is there's a need for you to be discerning, to take care of yourself, to trust your intuition at all costs. So if you're feeling like something's off, trust that. This may mean that you may need to move away from something or someone or a situation that is difficult or complicated and not giving you the kind of insight and guidance you're really looking for. And that understand people have to earn your respect and trust. Don't automatically give it to people. That's what I'm getting. So this is a very interesting duplicitous energy in some ways because you have the Sustainer here. And the Sustainer has a lot to do with, I feel like life force energy being used to create. And that understanding that not everyone is paying attention to how you feel or what makes you sustained. That's super important. It makes sense for my Aries sister, LOL. Yes, absolutely. So that's something notably to think about. Also, the Offering is here. So this could be, in a sense, someone reaching out to you with some kind of a promised offer. I have a feeling we just need to keep our eyes open, Aries, and just to make sure that whatever, yes, very off, making sure that whatever is coming your way, you don't just jump into things. Some Aries, one of the challenges of the Aries is that they're beginning of the Zodiac, so they tend to want to jump right into things, and which is amazing getting things started. The problem is, where does that put you if you get, 5 minutes later, you realize that you should have listened to your intuition. So make sure that you're paying attention to that, right? Annabelle's like, yep, makes sense. She's an Aries. Okay, that was Aries. So now we're moving on to Taurus, Sun, Moon, or Rising. Does anybody have a Taurus, Sun, Moon, or Rising? So when it comes to some of the signs, some people also like to look at their North Node. And your North Node, if you're not as familiar with evolutionary astrology, has a lot to do with what in this lifetime, what you are ascending to, what you are working on, what you're moving towards. It's more of a focal point. And if you consider yourself to be on your spiritual path, this could have a lot to do right now with what you're working on. Okay. And again, we're looking at Taurus's energy. So let's just bring this in, see what we're getting from Taurus. Thanks for being, you were just thinking Taurus is where my North Node is. That's amazing. I always look, see, that's the thing. My North Node is in Cancer. So I always look at Cancer in that regard, because usually it has a lot to do with what I need to, what I'm evolving to, right? Okay, so we have very interesting for you, Taurus. We have the Forest, and then we have the Unseen. We have the 8 of Wands and the 4 of Cups. That's kind of a very back and forth energy in and of itself. All right, let me show you these cards. Again, this is for Taurus. So we have the 4 of Cups and the 8 of Wands. Cat there, I love that. And then you have the card of the unseen. Again, we are talking about Taurus, everybody. It's my psychic card. And then we have the Forest. All right, let me just feel into this energy for Taurus. So here's the thing that I'm feeling for you this week. First of all, when you get the 8 of Wands, that's an energy of rushing forward. That is a momentum that moves quickly. That means closing on a deal fast, or being offered something and needing to make a quick decision, or something that's been stuck is moving forward. The issue is this. I'm not sure in some places that you're ready to move forward in some areas, because the 4 of Cups is not a card that acts quickly. It's emotions. It's maybe needing more time to process something. And so it feels to me like what I'm hearing is like, take your time, be patient, investigate. Don't make anything a rush decision, right? And then with the unseen, for me, this isn't so much about something psychic you're working on. This is that there is something at play here that you don't have evidence about. So I'm feeling like just protect yourself in this way and wait till you get on all the information. So the Forest specifically, I think in this instance has a lot of evidence for me that has to do with you really trusting yourself. And if you need to retreat, take some time off in order to investigate whether or not this is exactly something you want to do, if that makes sense. So definitely you want to take some time with that. So welcome in, everybody. We are right now doing Zodiac readings for the collective. You just recently took a management test. Wonder if I pass it. Oh yeah. So right now we're actually doing, hi, Emma. Good to see you. We are doing, these are all readings for the collective. We're not doing single readings. These are readings for the collective. But right now we're doing Zodiac readings, and we are just finished Taurus. Okay. So if you're interested in that, stay tuned. All right. So now we're going to go to Gemini. Is there any Geminis here in the audience? Also, if you are coming in, everybody, onto TikTok, could you guys do me a favor and try to get that number to 20,000, and feel free to grab your daily heart me. Again, these are Zodiac readings. These are all Zodiac readings. Thank you guys for being here. Yay. I know. I love Zodiac. I love monthlies. I love energy readings for Zodiac. Yay, Gemini. I love it. My Geminis are coming in. Hello, Sinister Days. How are you? So good to see you. How are you? We got to email each other. Yay, Gemini. I love Geminis. Well, I love most of the signs. I mean, I love all the signs on some. We love our Geminis. I know. Me too. Love a Gemini. Never a dull moment, Emma says. Exactly. Okay. Capricorn. Yes. So you also want to think about your sun, moon, and rising, everybody, where your placements are in your sun, moon, and rising, because that can affect you in different ways. Okay. Let's see what we're getting for Gemini. Ooh, coming in. Ooh, yay. You're getting a great card in here, Gemini. You're getting some really fast moving energy. You pulled the card that's unique to this deck called the Witch card. Love it. And now we're going to be pulling in a couple of Oracle. Here we go. Hi, Joan. Nice to see you. Okay, let's see what we're getting. Wow. Okay, this is a really interesting energy. Okay, this is Gemini. Look at, you got the Witch card, which has a lot to do with your psychic abilities. And then you got the Chariot card, things moving quickly, expediting. You're also pulling in the Vow card, which is so beautiful. And one of my favorite cards in this deck is the Temple. Okay, let's see what we got for Gemini. So here's the thing. I am hearing, Gemini, there's a need to understand the accuracy of your psychic abilities and what you're picking up on. And sometimes it feels like right now, maybe some of you are jumping ahead and here's what I'm getting. You're getting maybe a message or a download from your higher self or your guides about some information. And they're giving it to you because you're asking for direction, for insight, to make a choice. The problem is that you're moving ahead of it very quickly. So rather than really dropping in, giving it a minute and being patient, you're not letting it come in and trust it. Okay, that's really what it feels like to me in this instance. You're not trusting what you're getting, Gemini. So be sure to just take some time out. So when you're getting the Temple card, in this case, I really feel like this is a choice for you that it's kind of like if you come on TikTok, okay? This is a perfect example. If you come onto TikTok and you're in the space of TikTok, like how fast everything moves on TikTok and how quickly everything moves. And this is why almost like I want to do the counter opposite thing on TikTok, is slowing everything down. So this is a thing for you, Gemini, because you move quickly. You want to slow down, really listen to your guides and get that information. The Temple is a request to spend time in contemplation. You could do that by doing a nice long walk, journaling, meditating, any type of, that type of, experience. All right, let us move now into Cancer. Do we have any Cancers? Sun, Moon, Rising. Thank you for the follows. Sun, Moon, Rising. So one thing I'm getting, sorry guys, I don't know what's going on with thank you. I'm not sure. We have Cancer. I'm so sorry. I don't know what's going on. I saw that I was frozen. I'm not sure what's going on. We are now doing Cancer. So if you are Sun, Moon, Rising Cancer, the sign of Cancer, this is for you. Or even if it's in your North Node, let me know. Yes. Okay, good. All right, amazing. So what are we getting? King of Pentacles, and then the Queen of Cups. That's your card, Cancer. All right, they're telling me to pick one more. We got the Tower card coming. Capricorn, I see you. Very, very, very interesting. Very interesting. Very, very, very interesting. All right. Let's see what we're getting. Okay. Hey, Chastity, good to see you. Okay, so if you're a Cancer, Sun, Moon, or Rising, this reading is for you. Okay, so the first thing we're getting is a lot of very interesting energy. Things are on the move for you, Cancer. Okay, and the reason I say that is because you have the Tower card. So we have massive changes going on. An upheaval. This is a validation of your own card, which is the Queen of Cups. Isn't she a beauty? And then finally, we have King of Pentacles. So the first thing that's really coming up for me around this for you, and I'll get your oracle cards too, Cancer. I feel like there has probably been a sudden change, or there will be a sudden change. If not now, then sometime this week. This could kind of be unsettling. It could be in your environment. It could be with work. It could be essentially something that you hear about that feels disconcerting even. But you have enough around you to stay very grounded and stable. Okay, that's really what I'm getting. They're also saying to do some deeper inner reflection work, Cancer, and then to look at the things that are going well in your life. Okay, because the Mirror card came up, and the Mirror is really that card of doing mirror work, reflection. But also with the Nectar card, that's like sacred feminine, and that's really saying, focus on what is really going well and what's working out for you. But be aware, like this week actually, so my sister's a Cancer, and like this week she had to put her dog down, lots of changes for the sign of Cancer this week. With the Tower card, you can probably expect something. Remember, the Tower card is not always a negative thing. Sometimes it's like sweeping things out of the way that aren't working and moving towards what is. All right, so if you are new and you would like to join us, we're in a couple places here. We're also on the YouTube if you guys are interested, or also feel free. I'm so happy you're on TikTok. And if you're on TikTok, could you guys help me out by trying to get that number to 25,000? And feel free to grab your daily heart me. In fact, I'm going to do a quick little thing. And then we're going to move on to Leo. If you can take that you are a Leo, please be sure to say hello in the chat for Leo. So Leo, what do we have for you this week? Let's see what we have. How exciting. Okay, I'm going to start with these. My friend Lorinda Carr is a Leo. I always like to say it, Leo. We love a Leo. Hello, hello. Welcome in. Good to see you, Priyan. Okay, we have the vow again coming up. Okay, for Leo. So that could be Sun, Moon, Rising in Leo, by the way. Okay, then we also have the ocean. Amazing. Scorpio. Yay, Scorpio. Yes. We are making our way around the zodiac. We are now at Leo. We started with Pisces. Okay, here we go. Here we go. We have the Ace of Cups coming out. Okay, and the Empress. This is really nice energy, Leo. Very, very nice energy. Okay, Leo. Leos have a lot of masculine energy generally in the sign because it's a fire sign, which is a masculine sign. This doesn't mean gender. This means just activation. And also Leo's energy are very stubborn and stable, right? Because they're fixed. So we want to think about this. Sometimes spirit gives us a counter energy to sometimes learn lessons, to be aware of the presence of other elements so that we don't get out of balance. All right, everybody. So what I'm seeing here has the Empress card coming out, which is, of course, you know, that sacred mother energy. No, haven't done Libra yet. We're getting to that. And then we have the Ace of Cups, which is also a beautiful energy, right? That's an offering. That is, I always say that's like manna from heaven, the Ace of Cups. So the Empress card is really here telling us, right, Leo, to kind of stop and allow things. It's the same kind of that what we heard a little bit earlier already. It's just allowing things to happen and not necessarily making things happen. So this has a lot to do with you just understanding your own energy. This has to do with letting go. This has to do with allowing things to be nurtured, allowing things to come into fruition that you don't have to necessarily go out and make happen. This isn't always easy for you, but there's a double bit of water coming in here. We have the ocean, and then we also have that Ace of Cups. So when we're getting that kind of strong energy, what this is telling me is that there might be some underlying issues, Leo, connected to your relationship with your mother. And then also how you mother yourself. Okay. So that's something I want you to think about. And, you know, if your mother is still alive, you'll have a lot of context to understanding how your mother mothered herself, how she mothered you, and then how you can mother yourself. Okay. So all these things to think about. Again, that is for Leo. Okay, next we're at Virgo. Who's a Virgo here? And if you guys could do me a favor, if you're here on TikTok, if you guys could tap the screen, let's get that number to 25,000. Thank you so much. And feel free to also grab your daily heart me. So my name is Carey Koss. If you guys don't know me, and I'm a medium and a mentor. I also work in the Akashic Records. I do a variety of things, but I definitely offer like private readings, mentorship and training, things like that. Yay! We love our Virgos. Emma's a Virgo. Oh, Jet is a Virgo. We got some Virgos, Emma. Amazing. So we're now moving on to Virgo. So if you have a Virgo, sun, moon, or rising, possibly Venus, this is for you. Let's see what we got. Oh, those came out nice and neat. Ooh, we got the moon card, another mother card, and we have the Four of Cups. Okay, let's see what we got. Thank you so much. All right. Thank you guys for your support. I really, really help you. Feel free to join my fan club if you can. Grab your daily heart me. Yay. Ooh, you also got the forest here too. And you got the unseen again. This is a Venus and Virgo. Amazing. Okay. So this is very interesting. We're definitely dealing with some emotional energy. Okay. Because we're getting the moon card, which is also the mother card, and the Four of Cups. So there's definitely, I feel like, so my readings tend to be spiritual. Have you figured that out yet? Sometimes they have to do with situations, but usually they're the things that are going on for you in your own energy. That's typically the types of readings I do. So what this looks like for me, Virgo, is could possibly be some energy in your emotional body that feels like it's just under the level of annoyance. And maybe there's a turn that has to need to happen. It's your turn. That's what I'm hearing. Virgo, it's your turn. So maybe we need to understand, why do we feel exhausted? Why do we feel a little burnt? Why do we feel like we've pushed ourselves a little too hard? And maybe we need to go back to the beginning, Virgo, and figure out where it all started. And then from there, reverse engineer, Virgo, maybe where you need to check in with yourself before you go too far in either giving or crossing your boundaries. And the thing is, Virgos, you're extremely capable. You are able to do more than most. And so I think there is a level of, well, you're just used to doing that, but step back a few steps before you get to the point of being a little burnt out in order to just maybe check in just a little bit deeper. Okay. All right. So next we're going on to Libra. Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. I am a Libra. So this is what we're going to start with. Let me know in the chat if you are a Libra. If you are joining me, thank you for being here on both TikTok and on YouTube. I'm so excited you guys are here. Please be sure to say hello, or if you're out there watching on the FYP, feel free to say hello. Libra rising, Libra, I'm a Libra. Libra sun, oh, Misty, I didn't know you were a Libra. I'm a Libra. My mother was a Libra. I'm a Libra. My mom was a Libra. Yes, I do. I understand the Libra psyche. Oh, yeah, and I know Emma, Libra rising. Listen, mama. Okay, let's get to my Libras. Okay. I'm excited about this one. We'll see what we got. Okay, we got 9 of Cups, Emma. Luna. Okay, 9 of Cups, 2 of Cups. Yummy. Hi, Lou. Okay, guys, here we go. We're doing a little collective for the Zodiacs, Luna. We haven't gotten to Sagittarius yet. All right, we have a siren here, and we have, ooh, love it, love it, love it. Okay, look at this. This is for Libra. 9 of Cups. I love this 9 of Cups. Look at that. They base a lot of this on these really cool glasses and cups, the artist. Look at this one. It looks like 2 of Cups. There's a lot about relationships. That's very Libra. And then we got the siren. Hello, Cass. We got the siren. And then we got the eternal mind. Sunday at 29th and 11th hour. Yes. Oh, you're on the 29th. I'm the 25th. Love it. Okay, here's what I'm getting for Libra. There's a lot to do with relationships right now. I didn't see you in here. What daydream days? Hesitate to say hi since I feel like I've been ignored a little. I didn't see you in here. Did I ignore you? I probably wasn't me though. I wasn't. But say hi because I didn't see you. I'll never ignore people that say hello. Okay. So here's the thing. I feel like with Libra, and I could say this for myself, that we're working a little bit on relationships here. Hi, Lil. We're working on relationships here right now, Libra, which isn't uncommon since we're the sign of relationships, but it has a lot to do with how do you split up your time. I'm hearing that. Because we're going between 9 of Cups, which for me is more self-fulfillment, 2 of Cups, which is more relationship-based. I feel like we're kind of talking about you're learning to manage your energy and your emotional energy, Libra, between self and partnerships. So there's a little bit of like imbalance that needs to be in balance this week, Libra. Okay. The siren is, hi, Lil. The siren is here too. For me, that has a lot to do with sort of that sacred feminine rage a little bit. Sorry about that. I don't know what's going on with my connection and I hope I'm not too fuzzy over there. Sacred feminine rage. I was talking to a client about this a couple of weeks ago, but being okay with the thing about Libras, sometimes Libras don't like to rock the boat in some of their iterations. But as they grow and they develop further along, they get much more comfortable with speaking out and doing that. Yes, exactly. So there's definitely something here around that. Okay. The next thing I'm really getting is with the child is, you know, we need to in order to get back into balance, we need to check in with our inner child. How many of you guys check in with your inner child when if you're ever feeling off balance? How many of you guys check in with your inner child? Raise your hand. Now, I'm not perfect at this either. So shadow work, absolutely. So I'm not perfect at this either, but I remember about 2 years ago, I had this big realization that internally, I heard this loud voice. Yes, lots and helps. I'm so glad, Cass. That's amazing. So I got this really loud inner voice. I know I don't either all the time, but I got this loud, like rumbling and shaking in my energy. And I was like, what is going on? And then I just got this idea that, oh, this is probably my inner child calling out to be heard. So I'm listening to them. And then all of a sudden, after that realization came, I did a meditation with my inner child. And she let me know what was going on, what was out of balance, what I needed to pay attention to. So if you do feel a sense of almost as though there's an internal part of you that is looking for, is rattled and not able to settle, check in with your inner child. So Cass says, me too. This past year, I channeled my inner child. I'm so glad. Yeah. And it's not something, it's not something we have to do regularly, but if you are feeling like there's a part of you that feels burnt out or is not necessarily checking in or feels off balance, that's a perfect time to check in with her. Oh, I'm so glad for you, Misty. That's amazing. Good, good, good. Okay. All right. Let's move on to Scorpio. Okay. Scorpio, sun, moon, or rising, or Venus. Who's a Scorpio here? I have my Scorpios, the Scorpio rising. I have quite a few planets in Scorpio, so I can call myself a Scorpio. So if you're a Scorpio, let me know. Also, if you're just joining or if you're out on the FYP, if you guys could do me a favor, make sure you grab your daily heart me. And then also let's try and get, yes, we did Taurus, Cass. But if you want, by the time I'm going to have this uploaded. Thank you, Lucia. I appreciate you. Triple Scorpio. Yes. By the time this later, like tomorrow morning, I'll have this uploaded and time-stamped on my YouTube channel. So you can come back and check it if you want. Okay. Thank you, Nikki. All right. So let's go into Scorpio. Let's see what Scorpio has to say. All right. Thanks for being here, everybody. Scorpio, Knight of Wands, Seven of Cups, and Five of Wands. That's what I was getting. 3 more. Wow. Interesting, 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 Scorpio. What do we have? That came right out. So we'll take those two. We're getting 3. The Village, the Shadow, and the Medallion. Okay, Scorpio, what are we feeling? 5 of Wands, 7 of Cups. Okay, so this is probably for some of you who, I feel like this is more relationship related, because there's some unsettled energy, Scorpio, coming about. That's the first thing that's coming through. So if you are in a relationship, this may or may not apply to you unless you're having some lack of steadiness in your relationship. But if you're either sort of in a casual connection or you're possibly dating, this could definitely be for you, is what I'm getting. I'm hearing right now for some of you, Scorpio, this is a little bit about trial and error when it comes to dating. So it feels like part of you wants to have fun and meet someone who is, is fun, that you're compatible with, that you maybe have things in common with, but part of you is not feeling serious, possibly. But then also at the same time, I think part of you has felt like, okay, I've tried that already and I'm getting a little bit tired of it. And now I'm ready to maybe like get something where there's a little bit more commitment involved. So that is not going to be for everyone here. This is not for everyone, but I do feel like that's it. The one thing I'm getting, Scorpio, is that after a time, this is going to get tiring and you're going to get to a point where you really want to be able to kind of sink your teeth into a longer term relationship. Okay. Some of that might consider that you might have to give up some things that were more connected to being more light and carefree and being that energy of being playful or being a player a little bit. So that would say, I say, take some time out to decide what it is you want in a relationship is what I'm getting, and figure out what feels like the best fit. But there's a transition, Scorpios, in relationships for sure. All right, we're going to Sagittarius. Where are all the Sagittarius in the house? I'm a Sagittarius moon, so I like to listen to this one. Sagittarius moon or Sagittarius sun, moon, or rising. Let me know in the comments if this is you. All right, here we go. Okay, we got a oh, Sag moon or Sag rising. Okay, we got a Sag. We got a starborn. Ooh, you're a sun. I love that you're a Sagittarius. Amazing. Okay, great. All right, here we go. The devil card in reverse. That's excellent position for the devil card. And then we have, okay, we're getting, all right. Okay, so, oh my God, you got a devils in reverse. Like that never happens. This is because we're in your season. Wow, Page of Cups and the Death card. Dang. Okay, Sagittarius, you're not here to mess around. Okay, so the first thing I'm getting, Sagittarius, if this is you, sun, moon, or rising, let me know in the comments. We're doing zodiac signs. Thanks everybody for tapping the screen. Grab your daily heartbeat, please. That would be amazing. Okay, so what I'm getting here right now, Sagittarius, I feel like I'm seeing many of you just like shaking off an old skin or taking off specifically like this heavier energy, okay? And when you have the devil card twice coming up in reverse, that means you are ready for change, that you are not blocked, that you are ready to release the things that aren't working anymore, that you're moving into a place of being more playful, much more, I would say, lighter, more carefree, and a sense of inspiration specifically. Okay, I'm really getting that. I also feel like Sagittarius, some of you are moving into a new era. You did pull the death card. Yay, Lilia. Yes. Okay, so look at that death card. Isn't that stunning? It's really Persephone with a pomegranate. Isn't that amazing? Okay, but you're moving into this new era, Page of Cups, which is a lot to do with like a fresh start emotionally, a fresh start in relationships with not just the people that you're in a relationship with, but a fresh start like in the places where you connect. Maybe this could be related to work. Hi, Robbie. This could be connected to your community, things of that nature. So there's a lot of things that are kind of switching around here, which is fantastic. Okay. I'm also seeing here the vow is coming out, which is amazing. And Starborn, this is you being much more connected, Sagittarius, to your spiritual nature, okay? And not really being as concerned with things that you're going to need to leave behind. You know, if I know a little bit about Sagittarius, they're not as afraid of change and they're ready to transmute energy. So this is like a perfect indication of where you're headed. Two of the devil card in reverse like that. I have two of them in this deck. That's pretty amazing. Okay, where are my Capricorns at? We're moving into Capricorn, guys. And if you're new, please say hello in the chat. If you guys don't know me, okay, Capricorn, my baby girl is a Capricorn. My baby girl graduating from college next week. My child, love her. Capricorn rising. All right, Caps, here we go. Coming in. Aquarius here on the cusp. We love that. We love that. We love that. Okay, here we go. All right, Capricorn, sun, moon, rising, Venus. Maybe your north node. Let's see what we got. Ooh, that came out quick. Four of Wands, Page of Pentacles. Yeah, that's a fun energy. Okay, let's see what we got. Capricorn. Okay, the ring is coming and also shadow as well. Okay, Linda, Capricorn, love that for you. Mine is just going next fall to college. Oh, really? Oh, I'm at the end of that part of things. I've got them a little older. It's a big deal when they go to college. It is a big deal, but it's exciting too. Okay, Four of Wands. Capricorn has a lot to do with celebration, typically, can be connected to things related to the home often, or just people that you feel like you're in alignment with and you're celebrating. So that's a big thing. Page of Pentacles, a lot to do with like celebrating things that you're building, things that you are investing in, and this could be together with like new opportunities, new experiences. It could be new ventures that you're putting into things. And then we're also getting the ring card, which is the sign for me of commitment to yourself, your journey, your transformation, and what it is you want. There is still the shadow card coming out, Capricorn, here. Okay. And typically, when the shadow card comes out, it means that you really need to trust the process. There probably is a little bit more inner work that one would need to do in order to get clear and to get to a deeper understanding. Sorry, my Wi-Fi is being wonky over there. I'm very sorry on TikTok. I'm not sure why. So I would say here likely that there is a lot here with you to do with that I'm getting a sense of putting your priorities in order and really understanding like that your loved ones, your people, the place where you want to invest your energy is the most important thing for you right now, and that you're really wanting to like focus on building what it is that is related to that. That's really what I'm getting, because there's the commitment here with the ring, and usually this could also be relationships, and then the shadow. So there still might be some discovery there for you, Capricorn, but that's what I've got. It's very nice energy. Very nice energy. Bottom of the deck, I do want to talk about that because that came forth. The Lovers card came out here for me with the Capricorn. So that feels a lot like relationship related. So if you can take that, let me know. All right, we're on our last zodiac sign. So we're moving to Aquarius. Okay. After this, we're going to get a message from the ancestors. So we're going to do an ancestor pull from your loved ones in the spirit world. So stay tuned. Okay. So yes. Okay. Here we go, Aquarius. 9 of Cups coming in. Also the 2 of Cups right next to it. I love that. And the Empress. Okay, Aquarius. This is pretty great. You've got some really nice energy coming. A lot of feminine energy coming in, sacred feminine. We also have the Village going here for you. I'll show you these in a sec. And then the Destroyer. Okay, so this is Aquarius. Just showing you the cards. 2 of Cups. Okay, the 9 of Cups. And then the Empress card. Together with the Village and the Destroyer. This is very interesting for me. Okay, let me resonate with this and just see what I'm getting. So one of the things, Aquarius, I think possibly this has to do with you are very much something is about being a humanitarian. Okay, so and I know this about Aquarians. They think of the mass. They think of the larger network, the larger group, right? And so micro, macro is what I'm hearing. Micro, macro. So you're thinking of you are normally going to the external, to the larger group. That's what your emphasis is typically, right? But I'm also feeling like for you, you may need to go a little bit more and edit that for yourself and understand more so what is fulfilling to you. Not just what's good for everybody else, but what is fulfilling to you. And that likely could mean there's some things you need to let go of. There's some things that you need to explore. And there's some things where you need to prioritize, like what is the most important thing to you. And it's not always easy, I think, especially for some Aquarians to always move it back to themselves. Right. And because you think in terms of larger groups, it's not always natural. So there's a need to mother the self, to trust that intuitive knowing and to invest in yourself and something that's a little bit closer to you. That's what I'm receiving for Aquarius. Okay. All right, guys. Thank you so much for that. Now we are going to do a reading from the ancestors. So what does this look like? Well, sometimes I do mediumship, which means I bring someone's loved one forth. Tonight, I'm not going to do that. Tonight, I'm going to be getting a message from the ancestors. So what that looks like is I just tune into the collective of everyone's ancestors. and bring forth a channeled message from the collective and whatever is we most need to hear as a group now, and what's for the highest good. So if you're interested in that, you can just put your intention towards that this message from the ancestors will just be exactly what you need to hear in this moment. Okay, let's just see what they're bringing forth. Let's see what the ancestors have. 5 of Wands. They're already coming in a little spicy. Knight of Pentacles, the Star card, and the Page of Wands. Okay, awesome. All right, let's kind of show you the cards. 5 of Wands. This is my ancestor deck. Knight of Pentacles, the Star card. All right, they're going to give you a little bit of a lashing, so don't be surprised. Ancestors aren't always, they come in strong. So here's the thing. The suggestion from the ancestors is they're really trying to point you in the right direction. Understand, when you start asking for ancestors' help, wisdom, guidance, and understanding, they're going to help direct you in the right direction. And because, again, when you're asking for help, that means that usually there's direction and choice being made. They're not going to make the choice for you, but they will indeed give you some insight or try and give you, I would say, atmospherically in your energy field, some thoughts, ideas, and direction. And that's what's happening here. So, and what they're saying here, Knight of Pentacles, they're trying to get you to lay down roots a little bit more and to almost slow down and to be a little bit more possibly methodical and thoughtful about the direction that you're going in. So what that means essentially is things are maybe not going to move as quickly as you thought. And it might be a little bit more challenging than you thought. But really, when we know something is it is for our highest good, discipline is part of the process, right? And it really does mean that, when we edit out things that are distracting us, that aren't for our highest good, that might be pulling us in different directions, we're really moving closer to what is for us for the best. And we're so much better off when we put our time into those things than to just have our energy pulled in a lot of different directions. So the Star card is, some people read it like, oh, it's hopefulness, and it means that everything is sort of working in your favor. That's actually not exactly what I think it means. I think because the Star card comes right after the Devil card, comes after the Tower card. So it comes after you've had your life has kind of exploded a bit in some areas, and you're needing to refocus and focus on what is really for your highest good. So it doesn't just automatically mean that everything's going to, need to listen to them. That's kind of what it is. I feel like I've been doing that and they've been doing that. My own ancestors are doing this to me. So you're not alone, right? But in general, yes. So the Tower card means that things are being removed out of it could mean, it's very much like a Uranus energy, though that means it means sudden change. It means sudden change often. It means things maybe not working out, but it's for your highest good. It also can mean some things falling apart in our lives, but to be rebuilt. That's what my interpretation of the Tower card is. But at the same time, when you don't try and continuously push forward in a direction that isn't for your highest good, you'll end up where you're meant to go. So if you trust the process where you're being led, things will work out. Now, interesting, you're going through a Tower. Yes, thank you so much, Becky. I appreciate you. So the other thing I want to say here is we have the Page of Wands coming forward. So imagine if you've kind of had a Tower moment or some challenges, things haven't worked out, and you just sort of have resigned yourself to letting go and trusting the process and listening to what you're passionate about. Imagine what happens when you switch gears like that. When you switch gears like that, then the places where you're being directed and trusting your intuition tend to work out a lot better. So this is what I'm feeling from the ancestors. They're really just coming in very strongly and in a very encouraging way is what I want to let you know. All right. So that is the final reading for tonight. Let me just move this off my screen. Couple things, guys, before you go. All right, let me remove, there we go. So first of all, I want to thank you all tonight. Again, I do this every Friday night. I do collective messages. Be sure to follow me on YouTube. I do a lot of longer form content on there, which means longer readings. And I also want to let you know, I do have my end of year reading. No, I have my 2026 year ahead readings. Oh, I know, you too. I hope you do too. Have a wonderful weekend. So if you're interested in getting a reading with me, a private reading with me, I have my year ahead readings. Those are all on where you can see where my profile is. And also think about getting on my email list, because often I have offers on there that I don't put normally onto every one of them, like when I'm on my lives. I'll probably be going live again tomorrow for a little bit. And if you have any questions about either your development, Amy, I saw your email. I just read that. Thank you, Holly. That's so sweet. Yeah, so feel free to reach out. I do want to let people know. So I am a teacher and a mentor. And so I have a program starting in February. And I'm going to be doing, it's a 6-month training with me for being an energy reader and healer and then working in the Akashic Records, which means past life readings, as well as tapping into and channeling energy, working with the guides there. Hi, Amy. It's good to see you, friend. If you guys want to keep tapping the screen, make sure you grab your daily heart me. And let's see, I might stick around and do a few card pulls if you guys want. So stay tuned. I'll maybe stay around another 15 minutes and do a few of those. Thank you, Amy. Thanks, Amy. So we'll do that, okay? Because I'm in the mood. I don't always do that every Friday, but tonight I'm in the mood. So yay, I know. I'm so excited, Victoria. Yes, so that program starts in February. Also in it, I'm teaching a business class. I'm teaching you also a business. Oh, I love you. Lilia is in here. Lilia is one of my long-term students. Thanks, Lil. Lil's been training with me for 3 years, Lilia. That's crazy. She did my year-long training program. She just finished it. Absolutely. So we're going to do a few card pulls. So let me tell you guys about this. I'm going to go between YouTube and TikTok. Let me just get rid of this. Hang on, guys. Let me change a couple settings. One sec. All right. We'll do a few cards here. Start that. And let me get rid of this board. Hang on. One sec, guys. I'll be right there. One second. Boards. Let me get rid of this board. Okay. Dismiss. All right. There we go. So thank you so much, Lilia. I appreciate you. So if you would like a card, I'm going to do a few of these. Okay. Just a few, not too many. So everybody on TikTok, if you guys could get that number up to 25,000, I will do a couple of free questions. Now, typically I don't do yes and no's. Typically I'd rather do a question. Because yes and no's are very limiting. Now I can always do that with like, you know, the rods, or if, let me say, thanks, Lil. I appreciate you. The rods, or with a pendulum, or I have a coin that I use, but today we're not doing that. So if you guys are ever interested, we can always do that, those kind of yes and no's, but typically I like to do questions. So if you are following me and you are here either on YouTube or if you are on TikTok and you would like me to do a question, please let me know. Also, if you guys could do me a favor and help me with my gift goal on TikTok. If I can I just need 6 more of those. That would be so amazing. Thank you so much. So you guys can go ahead and put your questions in the chat. I'll do as many as I can. Thanks, you guys. Thanks, Robbie. I appreciate you. Thank you for that heart. Appreciate you. So you guys can go ahead and get your questions started. Hopefully I can see. Thank you, Amy. I appreciate you. That means a lot to me. Thank you. Yes. I'll see as soon as I get your questions, you guys can start asking your questions. I'm going to just start shuffling my deck a little bit here. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you guys. And if you want to just keep tapping the screen, sharing the live, that means a lot to me. Thanks, everybody. All right. Also, it seems always like YouTube always takes a while for some reason to get some of the comments up and going. Thank you, Nia. Appreciate you for grabbing your heart. Thank you. Nice and cozy. Guidance. Okay, Victoria, let me see if I'm getting anything for you. Thank you for being here too. I appreciate you. Okay, the Queen of Pentacles is coming out with the Page of Wands. This combination is a wonderful combination of energy. The first thing I'm really feeling for you is to just really remember right now to exercise a level of patience, grounding, and focusing on what is going well in your life at the moment. That's what I'm hearing, Victoria. You know, the Queen of Pentacles does have a real sense of her priorities. She knows what to invest in. She knows what she wants to build. She cherishes it. She can kind of tune other things out around her that pull on her. And then from that place, it feels to me like there is going to be a deeper level of, then you'll have a wellspring of finding out what your how to focus your passion, how to be able to direct it, but not really before you kind of combine those two things. So working on grounding and patience, I think, is a big thing. I hope that helps. So if you would like, I'm going between TikTok and also YouTube. We're just doing some freebie questions before I take off. Okay, so Cho, Fiona, and Peanut. My question is, should I teach or write? Ooh, why limit yourself? The first thing I said is why limit yourself? But I'll look at, so this is going to be teaching and writing. Okay, that's a really good question. Both show that there's a level of transformation involved. I think both are very possible for you, but as far as what you're putting your energy into first, I'm feeling a little bit more towards teaching first. But I also feel like after you've done that for a while, there likely could be some writing involved. So both things are very, very true. Okay. I love that. All right. So Robbie is saying guidance for you. Okay. No problem. That sounds good. Guidance for Robbie. King of Pentacles and the Five of Wands. Okay. So right now it feels to me like there is something in your atmosphere that possibly could be pulling on you and making you feel like unsettled. And it's very interesting because guys, I don't answer third-party questions, just so you know, about other people. So it feels to me, Robbie, like you have something in your environment that is almost trying to get your attention and uncenter you. You got it, Carey. I see you. Almost as though there's something, you got it, Amy, that there's something trying to pull on you, something trying to uncenter you right now, Robbie. And I'm really feeling like if there is something pulling on you, give it some attention so that it can quiet down, but really go back to being grounded and centered and focusing on what you need to invest in. That's really what I'm getting. I hope that makes sense. Okay, Sinister Days. You got it. Let's see what guidance comes through. Tower card and the Knight of Wands. Okay, so there's a lot of change going on here. So first of all, you're welcome, Robbie. So first of all, with the Tower card specifically, that is very much like something in your, I would say, you're in a very large period of change. And when there's things that are reorganizing and things that are being swept out of the way and things that are leading way to clarity and things that might have you starting over, don't feel like you have to rush into the next thing. The thing about it, the Knight of Wands is just one of those, I got to get it over with and get it done kind of energies. And so if sometimes we need to be patient and allow all the change to kind of fall into place and settle in before we move on to the next thing. That's what I'm really getting. Oh, I love that for you so much. Okay, let me get back to this, to Miss Amy. Hang on. Thanks everybody for being here. So I don't typically answer third-party. You're welcome, love. I don't really answer anything to do with somebody else and someone else. I will answer a question between you and someone you're in a relationship with, but not someone else. Okay. Let me go for quickly. Hang on. First, let me do lemon berries. Will this new job work out? Okay. I always like to ask the question, like, what's the current energy around the job? And then if there is something that's off balance, we can look at how can you get it to work out. Okay, so here's the thing with the new job is I feel as though there's kind of almost like a rushing into this job, or it came upon you quickly. And there's a little feeling here of being overwhelmed. Dental receptionist and new girls. Okay, that's what it is. There's a little bit of a feeling of being overwhelmed here. And sort of, how do I fit in? How's this going to work out, especially related to relationships? So I think my advice is just kind of settle in, observe the landscape of things. Don't try and fit in so much. Just kind of sit back, be yourself. I think it's going to be fine. I think it might take some of them a little while to get to know you, but I think it's going to be a good fit, you know, for at least for a time. Okay. All right. Next, we're going to go to Amy. Welcome in, everybody. We are just doing some free questions. I see you, Jetta. I'll definitely get you too. You guys want to keep tapping the screen. Let's try and get that number to 35,000 if we can before I get going. All right, friends. Also let you know, I do have free private readings if you're interested in booking those. I have a few more spots for next week. All right. Let me find it. This is for my Amy. This is for Amy. Need some guidance, please. Amy. Endings. So Amy, this is interesting, my love. Desiree, what are you doing, girl? How are you? This is an interesting energy going on, Amy. You know, when we're getting the World card and the Two of Swords, it means that you're coming to the end of a cycle with something, but at the same time, you're not sure what the next thing is. So there's a little bit of something pulling on you. So I feel like what you need to do is really check in with that intuition. What's my next step? What's my next thing? What direction am I going in? Right? I know that's not always easy. Okay. Love you, Lil. See you later. So I definitely feel like give yourself some time before you make a decision. That's interesting. I love that. Okay. Welcome in, guys. We're trying to get that number up to 35,000. If you can go in that direction. Thank you, Petals. I appreciate you. I want to really get Jetta's. Jetta, are you still here? I see you. I'm normally a very Christmas person, but this year I'm having a hard time feeling it. Okay, let's kind of get into it. Renee, thank you. Oh my God, is that my Renee? Lord. Oh my God, I miss you so much. You are crazy, Renee. I was just thinking about you today. I was literally just thinking about you today. I'm not joking. I was coming back from the store. I'm not joking. I was driving. I was all, I miss that lady. How is she? You know why? Because I was thinking about Monica. Remember Monica? I'm so sorry. I got off track. That is cray cray. Okay. Sorry. I want to go back into my, sorry, guys. Coming back. Okay, Jetta, I'm so sorry. So having a hard time. I know. You better text me. We got to talk. Okay, this is for Jetta. Let's see. She's having a kind of a tough time with Christmas. So the first thing I'm going to give you that I'm getting is I want to say sometimes the thing about this time of year is that what we have to honor is that sometimes there's a level of pressure that we put on ourselves to have to be in the holiday spirit. And that if we don't feel that way, something's wrong. And really what we need to look at it more is from the cycles of what are that we find in nature. And that, you know, at this time of year, if we really look at it, it's a time of endings. It's a time of letting things go. And it's a time of like peeling off layers. So I would kind of get into more of a mindset of just the fact that you're probably going through a big shift and letting go, and maybe some even connections and relationships are slightly changing. But the real relationships can last a very long time, and they can handle these ups and downs. Okay, that's really what I'm getting for you. So I want you to kind of give yourself a time. I mean, I've had plenty of moments I've thought about that fact of like, we put a lot of pressure on ourselves to like feel it. And then sometimes that's not the cycle we're in. So be more in alignment with things that are in the cycle. Okay, my love, I hope that makes sense. Ooh, that's it, Amy. I see that. I totally know. And that's what's going on. That's what's going on. Okay, Mother Earth, are you still here? Oh, Jetta. See, Jetta, that's why I call myself, I'm definitely more of an earth-based spiritual practice person. Okay, sweetie, I got you. I'm more of an earth-based. Oh, thanks, Petals. You're so awesome. If you want more of a reading, let me know. I'll take it. So here's what I want to say, and then I'm going to do Mother Earth. I'm so glad I go more into, you should definitely check out my Goddess Rising membership. Everybody really should. I'll talk more about Goddess Rising when I'm done with these readings, but you should check out my Goddess Rising membership. We work on all this stuff. We are all about the earth-based spiritual practices. And then I'm reading Mother Earth, which is perfect. Okay, let me read Gaia. Okay, here we go. What are we doing? Okay, this is for Mother Earth. Ooh, okay, we got the 10 of Wands and we have the Lover's card. Wow, this is interesting. So likely there's something, I'm not sure what the question was or what it would be. We're just pulling cards here. So likely what this looks like to me is that you are, it could be a cycle of relationships that you're getting. Okay, Steph, I got you. Oh, okay. Sorry. I've read that. So one of the things that I'm noticing here, this is related to relationships, that you're at the end of a cycle with relationships in general. There's something that you are letting go of. There's an ending happening in a relationship, but also there could be likely an ending that's in general happening for you in a part of your life where you once had a lot of passion and connection. Your car. Oh my God. So this is definitely with the Lover's card. That's not always relationship. That's just something that you have a heart-centered connection with. And when you have the 10 of Wands, you bought a new one today. Amazing. Okay. So there's ending of cycles, but beginning of something else. That's more likely. So that's really interesting to me, because that's usually the very end of something and then a connection into something else. I love that for you. So good. All right. Is anyone left on the tube of you who would like a reading before I close up shop for tonight? Thanks you guys for being here. This has been such a fun live. We'll try to end it with 30,000 likes. And thank you, Jetta. I appreciate you. Yeah, if you guys can help me with the, you got it, Renee. If you guys can help me just do my daily heart me's, that helps me a lot. I only need 4 more. Okay, this is from my friend Renee, who I was just thinking about like about 3 hours ago, which is so crazy. Okay, Renee. 3 of Wands. What are we doing, Renee? Like it. Okay, look at 3 of Wands. We know that has a lot to do with expansion, connection, possibly some traveling that's even international, or like moving and getting excited about things beyond where you currently are. One thing though, with the Knight of Pentacles, it is showing a little bit of an energy of slowing down or of a grounding. So even though there's that deep desire to expand and to grow, there's something that's in the works that's slowing things down a little bit. I want to see if I do too. I want to see if there's anything that can be done to kind of lighten that up or expedite that in case there's anything we need to see. Wow. I think it's just a Queen of Pentacles is all about prioritizing what do you really want to build? Just getting crystal clear. You're a coach, you know, getting crystal clear. What do I want to build? What do I want to invest in? What do I want to earn? I think that's just a little bit of blending the earth energy with the fire. Last card, death card, transformation, letting things go, the energy of Scorpio, just in general, fantastic, right? So good. I love that for you. So happy to see you. I'm going to follow you on this account too, because I don't know this account. Sometimes I'll already follow you on here. Okay. The other thing I want to say really quickly, because I know, just a minute, everybody, petals. So did you want a bigger reading? I'm so glad. Love you too. Does anybody, absolutely, Steph, you got it. Did someone sent a gift? Did you want to get more of a reading? Let me know. Okay. So yes. Does journaling help to ground? Journaling can help to ground. Because if you have things that are moving around you, it can clear it, but that's not my favorite way to ground. There's different ways I would do. I like doing things that are a little more physically related for grounding, like standing up, maybe doing a little bit of stretching, putting my feet on the ground without socks on or shoes on. And I also like to imagine that there's a tree root growing from the base of my spine down to the center of the earth, right? Okay, let me get Steph's card, just a sec. Knight of Pentacles. Oh my God. You fly almost everywhere in your dreams and great at it. That's amazing. You know what? I wish, here's the thing I will tell you. That is your spirit completely going and expanding, Renee, and expressing yourself and probably doing a lot of work on a spiritual level. I can tell you that right now. That is exactly what's going on. Amazing. Okay, this is for Miss Steph, Knight of Pentacles and the Seven of Wands. So this is indicating there's a real need for you to sort of have good boundaries and protect your energy. And if you need, Steph, to move slower in an area, I know, right? If you need to move slower in an area, Steph, and other people are trying to pressure you to move faster, I want you to disregard that and trust your own process. That's really what I'm getting. I think that that's a lot of what the Knight of Pentacles is all about, moving slow, not moving fast. And then the Seven of Wands is all about understanding your energy. I'm just glad that makes sense. That's amazing. All right. So I'm going to say good night because all of my YouTubers have ended. I'll see you all next week. Thank you so much for being here. Take care.